Watch me, David Cinderblock, on Action 9 News.
Watch me, William Steele, on Action 9 News.
Poverty is defined as extreme poorness or living in extremely poor conditions, currently in America.
Which one? What? I mean, really, dude. You gotta specify which America you're talking about.
You prepared the script.
Dude. Wait, what?
I'm just reading what you wrote.
Shut up and get in the news, dude.
Okay. As I was saying, currently in America, 49 million people are living at or below the poverty line. Poverty has increased over the years from around 43 million in 2007 to 49 million in 2013.
This increase in poverty that started in 2007 is due to the recession that lasted from 2007 to 2009. Because during that period, unemployment also rose. That leads us to our next topic, right after these interviews.
Whether or not I think America is doing a good job of providing for those at or below the poverty line, I think we're doing an okay job. I think things could be done to help those out that really need the assistance better. Overall, I think the help is there, but I think a lot of people just don't know where to go find help. And I think sometimes those that are truly in need of help get pushed to the side by all the political back and forth that goes on.
There are three kinds of unemployment. Structural, when workers require more education or skills. Frictional, when workers are between jobs. Seasonal, when certain jobs only take place in one season. And cyclical, unemployment due to recession.
Unemployment is described as a number of people who are neither able or willing to work. In the unemployment rate, there are certain people who are not included, such as military personnel, people in prison, psychiatric patients, retirees, and those who are disabled and unable to work. Currently,
The unemployment rate in the U.S. is 7%. Unemployment has decreased over the past year from 8.5% to 7%.
studies show that the recent recession is what caused such high unemployment rates, and now that the economy is beginning to recover, the unemployment rate is going down. It is projected that unemployment will be down to 6.8% by next year. However, even with unemployment decreasing, there are still a number of people living in poverty, and the numbers still climb because many people cannot get well-paying jobs even with a college degree.
Another contributor to increased poverty is the circle of poverty. Even through unemployment and inflation and decreasing, and the economy is recovering, there are still many people who are caught in the circle of poverty.
The circle of poverty is when a poor family cannot afford good schooling for their kids, their children cannot get a good job because they didn't get a good education, and likely never got their GED. These children are more likely to live in poverty, raise children in poverty, and their children will go through the same experiences, creating a circle that just doesn't end.
As far as the question about how unemployment has affected the country, I would have to say that over the last 10 years or so, I've noticed quite a few more homeless individuals, whether it be in Iowa City or where I was coming from in San Antonio, and which is very upsetting to me. I don't know really what we should do about, obviously we need to include the government, but B, how much in terms of citizens and residents, how much more can we do? Obviously I think we can do a whole lot more with that. But I think our country is becoming more polarized in the sense of the haves and have-nots, and sometimes I kind of struggle to kind of figure out why we should have such a situation in terms of people getting really rich on things and then really, really poor. So obviously I think we shouldn't ask the government anymore, nor should we be asking, people that aren't going to give money, but I think it's probably the common person that's going to pull us through. Just like it was, during the Great Depression when the soldiers came back and everything, we just kind of pulled through after that. So I would just say, hey, you know what? Give a little bit. It's Christmas time. 'Tis the season. Throw a few bucks. Right? We'll catch you later on the other side.
From a registration, I work at the registration as a hospital, so what I see a lot where unemployment is, we're having a lot of people that are uninsured coming into the hospital, having to make really tough decisions about their medical care, or also having to use the emergency room because they can't find anyone that will take them because they don't have any health insurance. We're seeing a lot of people that have problems with bad debt or going into collections because they don't have health insurance, because they're unemployed, and their hospital bills are mounting and adding up. So every day we see people come in and they can't get the care that they need or the care that they deserve because they are unemployed right now, and trying to make decisions about what can I treat or what can I not treat in the healthcare world, because a lot of places won't accept them because they have no insurance, so they're having to use the emergency room services and not getting the quality of care. It's a huge problem, and then there's just a lot of people come in here all the time kind of in tears and talking to our person that handles the cashier's window about what can the hospital do to help them. So that's one of the biggest things, is that people don't see that underside. So that's one of the big problems that I see just from a healthcare standpoint. People, the huge unemployment rate is really affecting people's health and their access to quality
Inflation
care.
is when the price...
Dude, what's up with your tie?
What are you talking about?
Are you kidding me?
Look at you. You
Yeah,
look
what
like-
about it?
It's like a cast.
Yeah, I mean, just sling it. What's yours good for? Tourniquet? What are you gonna do? You got a windlass to twist that thing or not?
Just trying to tell the news here, folks.
Oh my sweet baby Jesus.
So inflation
Okay.
is when the price,
Go on.
level of goods,
Yeah.
and services increase, making your money less valuable. Just like Mr. Keating's here. He's, there are 3 types of inflation: hyperinflation, disinflation.
Disinflation.
Oh, is it your turn?
Oh, sorry.
And deflation.
Alright. Inflation is when the price... wrong line. Hyperinflation is extremely high inflation. Disinflation is a decrease in the inflation rate. And deflation is a decrease in the level of inflation. There are also 2 sources of inflation. An increase in aggregate demand. Oh!
Also known as demand pull.
And a decrease in aggregate supply.
Also known as
Cost push. Oh. Sorry, did I steal your line there at the end?
No.
The final line of this broadcast?
No.
Did I just...
What? Was that all?
I think that's all.
Right here,
I don't know.
Action 9 News.
Action 9 News, folks. Action 9 News. Where you get all of your action.
I think what happened with prices of all goods and services if the minimum wage was to be raised is obviously everything would increase its price, everything would become more expensive. Whether it's restaurants, grocery stores, price would go all the way up. And in my opinion, I think that's gonna definitely destroy small businesses. My parents own a restaurant. I can't imagine them having to pay their employers more than they're paying them now. And small businesses are the backbone of this country, so I wouldn't want to see that happening. And that's about it.
I would be in favor of raising the minimum wage, maybe as high as $15, if the employer's Social Security tax, employers' Medicaid tax, whatever the taxes that go on employers, I can't think of the name for them right now. Social Security is one of them. Stayed at the minimum wage level. In other words, the employer would not have to pay that big matching piece on minimum wage deals. And the reason for that is, if you raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, you're hitting the employer twice. Now he's got to pay twice as much in tax, for Social Security, and he has to pay the employer twice as much as he was paying the employee twice as much as he was paying him before. So that means they're not going to hire as many people, and you've got people who are working making more, but you have a significant number of the workforce not working because they're not going to be employed. But if you just raise the minimum wage maybe to $15, but kept the employer's tax rate down at the Social Security tax rate down at the original level, they wouldn't be getting hit twice and be more inclined perhaps to keep employees on the payroll. So if they were to raise minimum wage but not raise the employer's piece of the Social Security and benefits package equally, it might work. It might actually significantly help.
So today, we learned about 3 things, right? Inflation,
Poverty.
and unemployment. Now, these 3 topics are all related. When inflation is high, inflation is when money loses its value, so things become
More expensive.
more expensive, your money loses value, it's bad, business goes down, so unemployment goes up. When unemployment goes up,
Poverty goes up.
exactly. When that goes up, standard of living down. I know that's not really our topic, standard of living, but we're just trying to show you how they're all related. And when poverty goes up, the amount of people using government safety net programs goes up. I know that's a different projects thing, but it's all related. Poverty goes up, you find more people in poverty, and the harder it is to get the country out of that loop. Because when you have people in poverty, they have less jobs, the economy starts doing worse, and it's just gotta, I mean, it's a cycle. It just picks itself up again. It's like the business cycle. It goes through an expansion, recession,
This
you know,
gets
just
worse
keeps-
and worse.
yeah. It's just a cycle. So, yeah. When people are in poverty, there's a thing called the cycle of poverty, or the circle of poverty, where they may begin to use welfare, or they may not be able to pay for their children's schooling, so their children will grow up, and then they'll be in poverty when they're older, and they'll raise a family.
Their kids will be in poverty.
Yeah, they'll raise their family on minimum wage, and it just keeps circling around. So that's that whole deal. So yeah, the higher the unemployment and the lower the inflation, the less poverty you have, and the better the standard of living. Also, a little bit of inflation is good, and a little bit of unemployment is good. It's like,
It keeps the good part of the cycle going.
it's kind of like I have to have a little bit of fats and a good diet, right? Right. So, a little bit is good, but not a lot. Like, what was it, 3 to 4? 3 to 4% is good on both of those. And right now, it's going down. We're going to be at like 6.8% or something next year. Yeah, that's how all these topics are related. So, that's the end of our video.